The ending of the Westies Episode 4 completely changes the power dynamics within the Irish mob. While the episode is filled with violence, funerals, and criminal deals, its biggest theme is betrayal. Nearly every major character spends the episode lying to someone, protecting their own interests, or sacrificing another person to stay alive. By the time the credits roll, it becomes clear that loyalty means very little in this world, and everyone is beginning to question who they can actually trust. The episode opens in the aftermath of Pat Murphy's murder, and his funeral becomes the perfect example of the series' central message. Sweeney delivers an emotional speech about loving the neighborhood and protecting his own people. On the surface, it sounds heartfelt, but anyone who knows the truth immediately sees the hypocrisy. Sweeney was the man who approved Pat's murder. Only a short time earlier, he also approved the deaths of other people from the same community whenever they became inconvenient. His speech is less about honoring Pat and more about maintaining the image of a respected neighborhood leader. That image is becoming increasingly difficult to believe. Mickey reminds Jimmy of exactly who Sweeney really is. Davy is dead because of him. Mickey himself was nearly killed under Sweeney's orders, and now Pat has been added to the growing list of victims. The funeral becomes a powerful reminder that Sweeney's greatest weapon is not violence. It is deception. He convinces people that everything he does is for the good of the Irish community, while privately making decisions that benefit only himself. That hypocrisy spreads throughout the rest of the episode. One of the most emotional storylines belongs to Dany. Although Sweeney believed killing Pat would keep Dany out of trouble, the exact opposite happens. Dany quickly connects the pieces together. He remembers Keenan questioning him about Pat before the murder. He remembers being attacked. Then Pat suddenly turns up dead. The conclusion is obvious. Keenan killed Pat. What makes this storyline especially tragic is that Dany is correct. Unlike many crime dramas where young characters misunderstand events, Dany accurately figures out what happened. His intelligence immediately makes him dangerous because he now knows a secret that could destroy several powerful men. Sweeney's response says everything about his character. Rather than helping Dany or explaining the truth, he orders Keenan to silence his own son. The episode then gives viewers a deeper look into Keenan's personal life through his meeting with Maura, the sister of his late wife Eileen. Maura has been raising Dany while Keenan remained absent for much of his life. The conversation reveals just how much guilt Keenan carries. He clearly wants to reconnect with his son, but years of violence, prison, and poor decisions have created wounds that cannot be healed with a single conversation. Dany refuses to trust him. Instead, he makes an incredibly bold move. He confronts Sweeney directly and essentially blackmails one of the most dangerous men in the neighborhood. Dany tells him that if he gets his position back, he will stay quiet about Sweeney ordering Pat's murder. It is a risky gamble. For a brief moment, Dany believes he has leverage. Instead, he paints an even bigger target on his own back. Sweeney makes it clear to Keenan that if Dany continues causing problems, he may have to die as well. It is one of the darkest moments of the episode because it proves that Sweeney values his own survival above absolutely everyone else. Even children are not off limits. Keenan refuses to let that happen. Although he is willing to betray Sweeney, everything he does is motivated by protecting Dany. He secretly works with Poke and agrees to help investigate possible links between Sweeney, the Gambino family, and the Starship attack. In return, Poke helps Keenan solve the immediate problem by planting drugs on Dany and having him arrested. It is a heartbreaking decision. Keenan ruins his son's life in the short term because he believes prison is safer than leaving him exposed to Sweeney. It is morally complicated, but unlike most of the other characters, Keenan's actions consistently come from a desire to protect someone else rather than enrich himself. Meanwhile, another major conflict develops around the stolen cocaine. Earlier, Sweeney insisted that the Irish should never become drug dealers. He presented it as a matter of principle. That principle quickly disappears when he realizes how much money the cocaine could generate. Instead of allowing Jimmy to sell it, Sweeney secretly begins selling the drugs himself. His hypocrisy could not be more obvious. He condemns the drug trade in public while secretly profiting from it behind everyone's back. The irony is that this secret barely remains hidden. News spreads quickly through the criminal underworld. John Gotti learns what Sweeney is doing. Jimmy also begins putting the pieces together after speaking with the owner of an army surplus shop while collecting protection money. Once Jimmy realizes Sweeney's recent charitable donation likely came from drug profits, his entire view of his boss begins to change. Everything Sweeney has preached about honor, loyalty, and protecting the community suddenly feels like a lie. His expensive public donations and respectable image are being financed by the very business he forbade everyone else from entering. That discovery creates serious consequences. John Gotti decides Sweeney has become a problem that needs to be removed. He brings in armed men to eliminate him. At the same time, Jimmy quietly begins considering whether Sweeney deserves to survive at all. This creates enormous suspense during the final moments of the episode. As Sweeney walks into what appears to be a deadly ambush, it looks like his long list of betrayals has finally caught up with him. The gunmen move into position. Everything points towards Sweeney being assassinated. Then Jimmy unexpectedly intervenes. Instead of allowing Sweeney to die, he saves him. It is easily the biggest surprise of the episode. At first glance, Jimmy's decision seems confusing. After everything he has learned, why would he protect the very man who has lied to everyone around him? The answer likely lies in strategy rather than loyalty. Jimmy understands that a dead Sweeney creates a dangerous power vacuum. Saving him also gives Jimmy something incredibly valuable: knowledge. Sweeney now knows Jimmy protected his life. Jimmy knows Sweeney has been secretly selling drugs. Neither man says those words out loud during their quiet conversation afterwards, but both understand exactly what the other knows. That silent understanding may become far more important than any formal agreement. For Jimmy, this could be the opportunity he has been waiting for. Rather than remaining another soldier taking orders, he may finally earn a place within Sweeney's inner circle. At the same time, Jimmy gains leverage over his boss because he now possesses information capable of destroying Sweeney's carefully crafted reputation. The ending also continues Jimmy's difficult personal life. While he has repeatedly expressed concern about Bridget working with Brendan, she refuses to step away. Instead, she becomes even more committed to Brendan's mission after learning that the intended target is the British operative responsible for killing her parents. Her decision shows that revenge is becoming just as powerful a motivation for her as ambition is for Jimmy. By the end of episode 4, nearly every important relationship has become strained. Sweeney no longer trusts those around him. Jimmy has discovered his boss's biggest secret. Keenan has betrayed Sweeney to save his son. Dany unknowingly places himself in even greater danger. John Gotti is actively moving against the Irish leadership. Even Bridget is choosing her own path regardless of Jimmy's wishes. The title Favors and Funerals perfectly captures what this episode is really about. Every favor comes with a hidden price. Every act of loyalty hides another betrayal. Every funeral creates another opportunity for someone to seize power. The biggest twist is not that Sweeney survives. It is that everyone around him now sees the cracks beneath the powerful image he spent years creating. His authority has not completely collapsed, but for the first time, the people closest to him understand that the man preaching loyalty is also the one betraying everyone else. That realization could prove far more dangerous than any gunman waiting in the shadows, because once trust disappears inside an organized crime family, every conversation becomes a potential conspiracy, and every ally becomes a possible enemy.